cry from shore to shore. If we right, we getting wrong. If we fight, they shoot me down. Oh Lord, Lord, I want to know if it's so, the world must go. One day we are gonna rise and take the rich by surprise. Only then they know for sure. People can't take no more.
学的来。
If a poor man's sick and he ain't got bread, some doctors might tend to heal, some might lay dead. So medicine is so advanced to cure most any pain. The poor man don't stand a chance without social welfare aid. Lord, the poor number rich in every nation, yet the poor vote for rich in every election. Each and every politician promised to end the situation, but the poor man only face exploitation. The poor can't take no more. That's the cry from shore to shore. Democrat or communist, conservative or socialist. Yes, once they living good, they don't care if the poor have food. Oh yeah. They say that slavery gone, but masters still living on. Cause some still sleeping on the earth's floor. The poor can't take no more. Who tell Russia and America that poor people ready to fight the costly war? For if men who can't find job join the infantry, look on every battlefront, is poor men dying daily. Yes, while they're spending money on ammunition, poor people suffering from malnutrition. What a horrible example we get from the poor but people. The ordeals of the poor are terrible. The poor can't take no more. That's the cry from shore to shore. But Bonham and Bishop can't see the poor fed up. While Carter and Manley fail to impress me, they go
Fear the Lord, fear the Lord.
Let this be a warning to end oppression and victimization of the poor.
Yes, that's the sound of the man himself, the King Elimat, the legend. I'm DJ Mauricio, and I'm coming to you live and direct from my bunker here on a Christmas Eve, Thursday, December 24, 2025. And as I have said to you, my online viewers, I am done until January 7th, 2026. But once there's a reason for me to come to you, my good people, I am coming to you to give you the updates. And over the last few months, several months actually, you have heard the DJ speaking about some organization by the name of Glenbarrow. And I have spoke about businesses, local businesses in our bill of federation that are having issues with our local banks, National Bank to be exact. And I know some people might think the DJ is just speaking. So I am happy to bring to you the owner of Glenbarrow to speak for himself. We heard the budget last week from Tuesday to Friday. We heard about the millions that has been appropriated or has been approved for foreign investors. My question has been and continue to be, what happened to our local investors? What happened to our local people? Some people choose to speak to me in the corner and decide, but they don't want the name to be called because they're afraid of the victimization. So I'm going to ask the gentleman on screen to give a quick synopsis of who he is and a little background and his business. And we're going to jump straight into the conversation. Good day, Mr. Hazel. Welcome to the DJ Mauricio Media. And a quick synopsis, sir.
Good morning. This is Lincoln Hazel. Some people say Pastor Lincoln Hazel. And I am the managing director of Glenbarrow International Trading Company Limited, located in Keon Street, between Market Street and College Street. We operate a guest house, referred to as Glenbarrow's Guest House, and a pest control business known as Glenbarrow International Pest Control. This year, 2025, we've had our 40th year, of which we wanted to celebrate, but we had so much difficulties that we had to be careful how we do our celebration. As you know, most celebration costs money. So we are still hoping hope next year we should be able to celebrate. But we've been here for 40 years. We started our business in 1985, and we are now 2025. So we're exactly 40 years in business. As a small local entrepreneur, I started business in 1985, after leaving public health department as a public health inspector, after working there for 8 years. I opened my own operation, and it's now 40 years and we're still going. And I'm grateful to God for his mercy and his help to bring us to today.
Okay, sir. Thank you, Brother Hazel. We're going to get straight into the meat of the matter. We're not going to be here for long. I just wanted to get your take, your input, and some things I am hearing that this Juliet Labor Administration has put in place since their election into office, and the strain that you have experienced as a business person, as a local investor here on our island of St. Kitts. I just want to say to you online viewers, yes, the DJ is right here in the Republic of St. Paul, St. Kitts. I'm here in my bunker, and Mr. Glenbarrow is someplace on the island of St. Kitts as well. I'm going to drop a clip here, Brother Hazel. This is a clip that I took from the National Assembly budget debate last week, Thursday evening to be exact. And this is a clip with the former Prime Minister, the third Prime Minister to be exact, Dr. Harris, with an exchange with the second Prime Minister, Dr. Douglas, during the debate. I'm going to drop this clip, and I would like you to give me your views, your feelings, what you have experienced, and basically, I'm here just to bring awareness to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, local here and the island, in the region, and in the diaspora, because from my view, there's been a lot of optics, a lot of picture ups, a lot of fake news going on out there with this government, and really nothing keeping. And the local institutions here really are not dealing with the local citizens in the same good faith as they would open their arms to foreign investors. So stand by for this clip.
A loan of $27 million was made to aid in the stabilization and long-term viability of the largest hotel in the country. At the time when, if we listened to the presentations, the hotel sector is... I didn't even finish my point.
He doesn't have to, based on the rule.
Yeah.
I recognize the Honourable Member for St. Christopher 6.
Madam Speaker, again, the distinguished member opposite is making reference to a loan to the largest hotel in this country of some $27 million. And he's reading from a document. Please share the contents of what you're reading. What's the name of the document? What's the name of the hotel? You can't be making statements like those in this parliament. You have gone on. And if you are misleading, the public must not hear negative things which are misleading things.
So before we proceed to the member for St. Christopher 7 responding, I need to make it clear that the rule that which allows for interruption, it doesn't have a guideline that says the person has to wait on, the member has to wait until the other member finishes the sentence or the statement. If the member who wishes to rise on the rule for interruption is of the view that something is being said which should not be said or which offends the rule, that member has the right to rise without waiting for the sentence or the statement to be complete. So I need to place that on the record. Honourable Member for St. Christopher 7, you may proceed to respond to the point of order.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I am speaking as I was about to say, and I said it really, preface it, the documents of the government itself. If members have not read the document, then that is a different matter. But I am reading from this document, Madam Speaker, the National Audit Office document, which was presented as part of the list of items. And if you check your audit paper, member for number 6, you will see the Director of Audit report. The page 28, member for number 6. And I read, Madam Speaker, from the official document of the government. Sorry. Madam, sorry. Thank you. And the Director of Audit had it very crystal clear. Subhead, Madam Speaker, draw your attention to the top of the page, loans. In 2023, says the forensic auditor, the government of St. Kitts and Nevis entered into a loan agreement with the Royal St. Kitts Beach Resort Limited for the issuance of a non-interest bearing loan in the amount of $27 million. Why? It goes on. To aid in the stabilization and long-term viability of the Marriott's operations. And it goes further. In 2023, $18 million was disbursed, and a further $8 million was disbursed in 2024. So that is the document from which this has been taken. And I raised that in the...
May I respond?
Sorry, yes.
Yes, please. Member for number 6, you raised an issue. The Honourable Member for St. Christopher 7 drew attention to the particular document as wished. Do you intend to respond? I'm ready to, very well, because I was about to rule. The member for number 7 is within his rights.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I raise this. Again, look at it. The issuance of a non-interest bearing loan. An important point. It's not just a loan, it is a special loan. Not 1% interest, not 2% interest, not 3% interest, not 4% interest, not 10% interest. An interest-free loan to aid in the stabilization, which means things not so good, and long-term viability of its operations. And it begs the question, if we have the largest and on the face of it the most successful, if we had known this, but on the face of it, brand name, internationally known, is having issues with the stabilization and long-term viability, what is happening to our tourism brand?
So, Brother Hazel.
Yes,
I was taken back by that statement by the former Prime Minister, Dr. Harris.
I was taken back too.
And I'll explain to you why. Back in 2015, following the election of a team unity administration, I can recall vividly that the then Prime Minister Timothy Harris and the then Foreign Minister Mark Brantley attended the UN Assembly. And I remembered that there was a meeting set up in Manhattan with some nationals. And there was this headline by the then press secretary that the Prime Minister met with nationals of St. Kitts Nevis in Manhattan, successful meeting, blase, blase. And I blasted his ass on social media. I responded a comment under that news item. And I informed them that if Prime Minister Harris chose to meet with some disgruntled support of the Team Unity administration in Manhattan, that does not represent the thousands of nationals in the New York region, in the tri-state area. So they need to cut out that bullshit and put a proper meeting in place that nationals can come to meet the Prime Minister and lay their question at that town hall meeting. I must say to you that that statement generated a town hall meeting up there at the Crawford Memorial Church there on White Plains Road in the Bronx. This DJ actually provided the PA system for that meeting. Sam Kanda was the then ambassador to the United Nations on behalf of the Team Unity government. And there were several questions asked at that meeting. And as I listened to Dr. Harris asking this question about this secret $27 million non-interest bearing loan to the Marriott, I could recall a gentleman by the name of Lionel Hardy stood up in that meeting and he asked Dr. Harris a question. Apparently, he stayed at the Marriott and he got some information that though the Marriott charged guests taxes for staying at the Marriott and other taxes, those taxes are not turned over to the government. And he questioned Dr. Harris as to why is that happening. And again, I was very disappointed with Dr. Harris's response because his response was that was an arrangement under the former administration, the Dr. Denzel Douglas-led Labor administration. But why I was disappointed with that response is because Dr. Harris at the time had already done 18 years as part of that Dr. Denzel Douglas-led Labor administration. So he was a part of those decisions. Dwyer Astafan was part of those decisions. Sam Kanda was part of those decisions. So I was very taken back and upset and disappointed with Dr. Harris' response. But as usual, the DJ don't make noise unnecessarily, as some people will think. I waited until after the meeting and I had a conversation with Sam Kanda. And I told him my dissatisfaction that I think Dr. Harris gonna have to cut out his bullshit. You cannot spend 18 years in an administration that takes certain decisions and then you are now coming to tell the people it was them. Like Premier Brandt telling people he was in the yard. They are all guilty. They are all responsible, and the people of St. Kitts Nevis need to wake up and understand this. This is not time for partisan politics. This is not time to support party. This is time to save this country because it is clear that these folks that we have elected don't have the country and the citizens' interest at heart, best interest at heart. It's about their livelihood, it's about their lifestyle, and it's about their bank accounts. So I say all of that to say this. The Marriott, I understand when it came into St. Kitts, the negotiations, is that they get several tax breaks. They're not paying taxes to the island. They promise jobs, they promise this, they promise that. And many people have suffered who I understand was employed at Marriott. It's not all bad. The place is a very nice structure, very nice place. I have had my experience with people there positive experience. So I am not saying the Marriott is all bad. What I am saying is this. If the government see it fit that the Marriott is struggling and they need to get a special stabilization loan, interest-free, and the government is going to guarantee that kind of loan from our local banks. I have been calling on the government, the former administration and this administration, that since COVID, many local businesses here has been struggling. Many have been closed. Several people is out of work on the street. No way of getting a living. As a result of that, many of these double salaries and these dividends that has been given out to those who already have it, those folks who are not working does not benefit. Two-thirds of the country are not benefiting from these giveaways, but the entire country have to pay back these funds. So to you, Mr. Hazel, I know you have explained to me that you too had applied to one of our banks here to get a loan to try and stabilize your business as well. And I think whatever went down with that, you was given a verbal response, not a written response. And as a result of that, you are currently in litigation with that bank. This podcast is not to spread propaganda, just the facts. So I'm asking you to present the facts to the people of St. Kitts Nevis locally, regionally, and internationally.
Yes, thank you very much again. I too was taken back last week. As you know, I was angry about the conditions in which I was treated with National Bank. But after I heard the facts that was given at the budget, I said, what? $20 million, $27 million without any interest? I could not even retain. I said, oh my God, this is serious. Here am I, a small business, self-made technically. I started my little business 40 years ago without any help from the government, without any concessions, without anything. We went to and we established a pest control business and later a guest house. And we went through, it has not been a smooth going. We've never had any assistance from the governments. I'm not talking about the government, all the governments over the years. I remember in 2014, thereabout, had a fire at our guest house. And not one minister of government, no member from the tourism department came to see how I was getting through. No member of National Bank, one of their clients' building got burnt, and nobody from the National Bank came to see what I was going through. We had insurance, and the insurance was paid, and the bank take all the money and put it against the loan, and then they say, well, what you need to do is to reapply for a new loan, and let's go forward from there. And they kept me going around in circles. They kept me going around in circles for years. And I was not able to get the refinance or the new loan to cover everything, those that I owed and what I want to go forward with. I did not get that loan approved until the change of the board. That's after the government changed. That is when I was able to get the loan, at least somewhere to get some assistance.
Hold your thought. Under which government did you get the loan approved?
The loan was approved under the unity government.
Okay.
The fire occurred under the Labour government.
Okay.
As I told you, none of them came to see what they have not seen the fire. They have not seen a local small business guy striving, got a fire. Let us see how we can help. Nobody showed up. Tourism department, nobody showed up. National Bank, nobody showed up. The government, nobody showed up. Nobody. I said, wow, this is serious. I said to myself, if that was a Chinese, even a supermarket or a shop, they'll all be wanting there to console and to say, at least, well, what can we do to help or something? Nothing. When the insurance paid the money, they kept the money on my account to say they're going to put it against my debt and did not give me a loan. They had me without a loan, without an overdraft, without anything until there was a change in the government and I was able to get the refinancing done because of the new board. Because you know what happened in the National Bank? The National Bank board is placed there by the government. And so when in time National Bank do you anything, it is not the board that have a thing against, it's the government instructions. The board is operating by straight. So I am right here now. I applied in 2000, the government changed again, and it seems as though the new board who is placed back again, the Labor board, is carrying on what they left off when they lost. So again, I applied for my overdraft. Every end of the year, you apply. In 2022, I applied to have my overdraft renewed. And they begin to give a lot of round and about. Remember, I've been paying them every month, never not pay them for 1 month. And my overdraft is being renewed automatically every year. No problem. Every year is an overdraft. I had a $100,000 overdraft that had to be renewed annually, but there was no reason for not renewing it. After certain continuous arguments with them and arguing, what's the problem? They said, okay, we're still investigating your business, so we're only going to give you the overdraft for 3 months. So in 2023, I had my overdraft approved from January to April. April comes, no renewal. So the overdraft went dead. No more overdraft, no renewal, can't write a check. All the money I spent in my account goes to the loan or to the overdraft repayment. And the bank continued to keep me under duress, I call it, so that I will automatically be paying interest and charges and all kind of stuff every time you write a check or every time you loan with time, the interest and charges just keep going on because your money is not properly regularized. There's no overdraft that manages your account and you can use. So I had to go to another bank to have a small overdraft in place so that I can now revert my monies to that account to get it going. So here am I in 2023, after April, waiting on the government for this bank for this loan, waiting for the bank for this loan, asking me for everything. They went and they checked with Social Security to make sure that I didn't owe any Social Security. They went to the electricity department to make sure that I didn't owe any electricity. They went to the water department to make sure I didn't owe any water. They went to the Inland Revenue Department to make sure I don't owe any taxes. And I'll come back to the Inland Revenue issue later. But what happened to me was I was there without being able to do anything. The COVID had just passed. The building was shabby. Our trucks were down. We had 3 trucks. Our 3 trucks were down. It was a disaster. And it doesn't matter how I cried and I pleaded with the bank, they just laughed at me.
Which bank was this? Sorry for interjecting, but which bank was this?
National Bank.
National Bank, okay.
National Bank. They just laugh at me and they just squeeze me a little tighter. The more you plead, is the more you get squeezed. And then at the end of 2023, in December, I got a note from the bank stating the bank has not approved your loan. I said, what? Just like that? They said, well, the board hasn't approved your loan. I said, well, could you put that in writing and give me a reason why the bank made that decision? Because I would like to know what I did wrong. Maybe he's paying my loan every month. What I did wrong was to stay within my overdraft limits. What I did wrong was paying off my bills. But I mean, I made sure before I even eat, I make sure my electricity bill was paid, everybody's paid, and my payments were up to date. So what else I had to do in order to qualify for a loan at National Bank? And they claim, well, it's the bank's policy. We do not give information out as the reason for not giving you a loan. I say, huh? You don't what? I said, okay. I called the CEO, and he told me, look, I'll see you on Friday. but I think it was on the Wednesday was the AGM, and I went to the AGM, and I explained myself to the whole. I asked permission to explain my situation to the entire members, all those shareholders and directors, and everybody was there. And I explained myself, and the bank board just looked at me and said, well, everybody always arguing it when the loan is not approved. But we can't approve every loan and blah, blah, blah. I said, I don't mind the loan not approved. Tell me why. And they didn't tell me anything. I met with Mr. Galloway. Mr. Galloway said, okay, Mr. Hazel, what's the problem? I don't understand what's going on. I really haven't been involved in the application form and so on, but I decided I will talk to you still. He spoke to me, very good guy. He looked through my application. He said he don't know. Apparently, they're probably the only thing he can see that they have a problem with. It could be my projections. Your projections could be, everybody put projections, but your projections may not meet the bank's agreement taste. I said, but tell me that I could revise them and come up with a projection that makes sense. But all I projected is a 10% per annum increase in revenue. And that's easy and that's normal. And I should, if I can do 10% increase per annum, keep I shut the place down. So he said, and he told me that I had my accounts with me, and I showed him the amount of sales I did for the year. And the sales that I had projected for 2023 was surpassed and matched the projections I made for 2025. So that could be the mistake. I under projectorize my accounts. But I don't want to show that I'm doing better than what I can do. Things could change, all kinds of things could happen. So you look at yourself, I can't believe this. So you made your past 2025 projections in 2023, and they didn't approve the loan. Said, okay, I'm gonna have to send it back to them. I'm gonna have to send it back to the board because they need to know this. And the board come back in February and say, sorry, we are not going to approve the loan still. And it was clear that the approval of the loan had nothing to do with my accounts. It had nothing to do with my business, but it had to do with me. And it doesn't matter if I put on $20 billion on the account, I wasn't going to approve that loan. Because the problem is not Glenbarrow's accounts. The problem is they want to get Glenbarrow out of existence, and their responsibility is to do everything in their powers to shut it down. Remember I talked to you about what happened after the fire, They didn't show up. They didn't assist. They freeze the loan, and they had me there for years until the election came. And when the election came, thank God the election came. And there was a change in the administration, and we were able to get the monies we wanted. We were able to get the money we wanted. And I'm telling you, that was scary because I have never done the government anything. I've never done labor anything. I've been friends with all of them. I'm a pastor. I can't hate people. If I have something to say about you, I'll tell you. I'm not going to hide. I'm not afraid of anybody. But I am going to give them, I'm going to respect them, and I'm going to tell them the truth. So we never had a problem. Never had a problem. And here's that. And it has now continued what they started in the last administration in order to complete their task of closing one of the oldest small businesses in St. Kitts to date, Glenbarrow. We have 40 years in business, almost the same amount of years as National Bank. We have surpassed a lot of trouble to get to 40 years. It's not easy. It's not easy A lot of businesses fell out through the cracks over the time, and I believe it's the same problem they've been having. But I was able to fight against the odds. I think it's my Christian principles and my belief and my faith in God. I can pray, and I don't depend on man to supply my needs. I depend upon God to do so. So it continues. So after they told me they are not going to approve the loan the second time, I decided I was going to talk to my lawyer. My lawyer wrote to them, please, what's the problem? Could you let Glenbauer know why he can't receive a loan? He needs that because to go to another bank, he could say, well, National Bank didn't approve my loan because I didn't have enough assets or I didn't have enough whatever. Say, so we can move forward. And they refused to say. And they refused to say because they had nothing to say. They have something personally against me, and whatever the problem is, they can't say it. I have been a very good customer of National Bank. I've been around them all the years. I'm a shareholder, and National Bank has a responsibility to make sure that my business is properly financed and protected. They have a responsibility. It's not an if and a buts. They have to. I'm a shareholder. And if they can't do it, they must tell me why. So they didn't even answer the lawyer. The lawyer threatened to sue them and didn't answer. So he sued. And in the response, he responded and then filed to strike out the case in court.
That's a famous approach, huh? Every case they strike out.
Every case they want to strike out because they want to say you don't have the merit. And they find all kind of reasons why your case should be striked out. So people cannot hear the real strength of the case. Well, we went to court on the 14th of November, and it was a good case. The judge heard the case, and the judge said there is no reason why this case will not be heard. So the National Bank lost what they did. They have to pay cost to the case. They have to pay cost to the company, and they're now moving to the second phase, the real meat of the case, for them to tell the court why they think they have a right and a legal right or whatever rights they can find to refuse me a loan without a reason. Now, there's a lot of people out there saying that, oh, well, he vexed because National Bank can give him the loan. I said, no, I ain't vexed. I ain't vexed. All I want to know why. And National Bank has a responsibility to say why. You know, DJ, you think you could tell a 5-year-old child, get up from there and go over there. And the child he can ask you why. If he's a daddy, why must I move? Why?
Well, I can give you a joke, Pastor Hazel. I have a little baby girl there in the Bronx, New York. And from the time she could have learned to speak, I could not tell that child anything and don't give her a reason why. As a matter of fact, as I visit New York from time to time while I am here, she will come and hang with me for a couple of days. And this child will come in the morning and ask me, Daddy, what are we doing today? So I would have to give her our stops. And that child count the stops. And I put in an extra stop and she said, but Daddy, you did not tell me about that stop. This is an 8-year-old child now. She was not 8 at the time. So you are a grown man with a business that has been doing this for years. You say some 40 years. How many employees do you have?
About 10.
10 employees. And a bank that you have been doing business with for these years, a bank where the government have majority interest in, by extension, the people, because the government is actually the people. And this is why I try to bring awareness to our folks, for them to understand. You elect 6 or 7, 8, 9, maximum 11 people in parliament. They're not in charge of this country. We in charge of this country. We dictate what they do. But for whatever reason, we are thinking in the reverse. So I want to thank you for taking this step and taking the effort in this regard. Keep your thought. Don't lose it. I'm gonna speak to you about a pastor as well. I went to a funeral there in Nevis for my sister there, Sister the Brown, Pastor Reverend Brown passed away, Pastor James Brown. His funeral was on Monday. And a pastor that I have met at Nevis, Pastor Ron Daniel, I think is a very fine young man, very lovely sermon he put down. And he was speaking about the ills that are taking place in our beloved federation at the moment. And he went on to say that nobody seems to not standing up. People are not standing up to the government and making sure that they do the right thing. And I sat in that funeral, and the DJ that I had to be nice because I was there to support my sister. I could not say anything. But I basically felt cheated that the pastor gonna stand in that funeral saying nobody is standing up because he have not stand up and many other people have not stand up. But I am sure that this DJ has been standing up for months and years, and most recently with this SSD matter amongst other things, I have been standing up. And I went to sleep a kind of disturbed. So yesterday when I went to visit my sister before I left Nevis, I told her I need to speak to Pastor Daniel. And she asked me why, and I explained to her. It appears as though you have not told Pastor Daniel your brother have been standing up for this country because he made a statement during the funeral. So she said, well, you let him know how you feel. So she gave me his number and I called him. And when he answered the phone, I identified myself. He was happy to hear from me. We had a good laugh. And I said, Pastor Daniel, he asked me how I'm doing. I said, I'm not doing well, Pastor. He said, why? I said, because you made a statement at that funeral that with all the ills taking place in the country, nobody is standing up. I don't know if my sister told you that I've been standing up and standing tall for months and getting a lot of cuss and knockabout from some people. So if you guys are not standing up, that doesn't mean the DJ is not standing. So he said, didn't I say that enough people are not standing up? I said, that you should have said, but you did not say enough people are not standing up. You said no one is standing up. So I want you to correct your sermon that the DJ has been standing up and I will continue to do so. And he acknowledged, we laugh it off and, like I always do with anyone, it doesn't matter. Like I tell people, my conversation with anyone, the smallest of child, the groundest of adult, God and man, I will tell them how I feel respectfully. And you too. I can say to you that if I'm wrong, you can correct me online. We're here talking openly. I think that there has been other people that has been suffering, as I said to Reginald Francis, and at the time you guys was not feeling the pinch, feeling the pain, and you guys never stand up for those people. Those people has long gone, who ain't dead, lose their business and stuff like that. But now, you guys are feeling the pain. And there's an old saying, and I think as a pastor you might know it. When they came for our master, nobody stood up for him, so they was able to crucify him. And they came for several other people after that, and nobody stand for them. But they're not going to stop. So eventually, when nobody else is left and you're there, they're going to come for you. But like I said to Reginald Francis, Pastor Hazel, I stand with you because what you're standing for is truth and justice, and is your right as a citizen of this country to benefit. And I think this matter of this loan to the hotel there, whichever hotel they gave that loan to, non-bearing interest, is something for your attorney to add to your evidence file.
It has to be.
And I just wish you the best with the outcome of that case. But any judge that will be making an independent decision and not a political decision is straightforward.
Yeah, and you see, what I said earlier is that many people think I'm doing it because I have a problem because I didn't get the loan. It's 2 years now I ain't get the loan. I still going along. And I still ain't on you could call electricity You could call Social Security. You could call anybody and ask them how Glenbauer understand. They'll tell you Glenbauer pays his bills. Glenbauer pays his bills. I pay my Social Security from all my staff. I make sure it's done on time. I'm not late. If I'm late, it's because the system break down in Social Security. But different to that, we are always on time. And I want to say to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, I am making this effort for all of us. When you go to any bank, anywhere in St. Kitts and Nevis, any credit union that does not approve your loan or denies your request must put it in writing and say why. Now that helps you to regroup yourself, find out what you did wrong, make amends to your proposals or to your way of doing business so that you can become bankable. But where I am right now, I am not bankable. I can't go to another bank because the other bank is saying, the National Bank just say why. And if National Bank doesn't say why, then there's something hidden that we need to know. There's something hidden we need to know.
And you have shares in this, and you have shares in this bank.
And you have shares in this bank.
And you've been doing business with the bank for how long?
41 years. Because
41
we started the business. We actually registered the company before I retired from government. So in 1984 is when my accounts were opened and everything. So if you check National Bank, they will let you know that we are 41 years in business already. But in real fact, I retired in December of 1984, and I started the company operations in 1985 January. So I'm not here because of a loan. I mean, come on. If I want a loan, I get one. I'm too long time. I'm very long time in business not to know how to get a loan. And if I can't get a loan, I sell a property or something. But the issue is that we have to know what type of climate we're doing business in. And what makes me feel bad, worst, is that with all the noise I made, no government official, I was a minister, no government official has ever come to my understanding and say, how can we help? What's the problem? What is the situation? And when I heard the budget yesterday, I said, Dr. Duke would have come to me and say, Pastor Hazel, I'm going to give you $2 million interest-free. Because I deserve it. I was born here. I deserve it. I'm in business for 40 years. Married is over there for 40 years. We can, if you give him married 10 million US, give me 2 US now. You think if you give me 2 million US, you wouldn't like to see Glenbauer? I'll turn it into the best product you can get in St. Kitts Nevis. But what?
Pastor
The
Hazel.
government doesn't, I'm not saying the government, I don't want to get, I'm not bashing the Labour government. I'm talking about all the governments. They need to look after the small man.
Pastor Hazel, I got to explain something to you. I met Dr. Joe. I adored the gentleman. I respect the gentleman. And based on our conversation and his demeanor, I was caught up in the belief that he cares about people and he will do right by people. Without calling any names, I'm going to give you a little example where I realized that this gentleman does not have love for locals, love for people, and he don't appreciate kindness. There was an individual that was going through some rough period. I am aware of this government, the Dr. Juliet Labour administration, helping foreigners, helping people who are not contributing to the system, giving free money to all kinds of people. This individual that I'm speaking about was there for Dr. Drew and Dr. Drew mom when she was going through a rough period. And I spoke to the Prime Minister about assisting this individual. And all I get was promises. Till today, promises. From 2023 till 2025, today as I sit here, is promises from this gentleman. But I am aware of many foreigners that he have helped. I am heard the stories from foreigners, Africans, other nationals, non-national of St. Kitts Nevis, where this Prime Minister make promises, and not only make promises, have given to these individuals who have not contributed to this country. And to date, this Prime Minister have yet to assist this individual that was there for his mom and there for him in bad times. So when I speak of Dr. Joe, our Prime Minister Joe, I am not speaking of him because of any bad feeling and negativity. I am speaking plain. Things I'm saying now is what I've said to him privately. And I want him to wake up and understand that if this is the person that you are in reality, you have to change. In my view, Pastor Hazel, and correct me if I'm wrong, I put it this way. This matter of that $27 million with the Marriott Hotel, it's in the estimate, the audit estimate of the government document, according to what Dr. Harris presented. I am waiting for a copy for myself to see it for myself. But I would say this. If Dr. Douglas did not know, as the foreign minister, as the senior minister, if Dr. Douglas weren't aware of this loan, this non-interest bearing special loan to the Marriott Hotel or the whatever company that is a part of the Marriott, if Dr. Douglas did not know of this as a parliamentarian, 6 of them was elected into the Labour administration. If they're having cabinet meetings and Dr. Douglas is telling me, until Timothy Harris, Dr. Harris made that statement at the budget last week, he wasn't aware of this. Partner, we got a serious problem in this country. It's a serious problem. And I would go further to say, if Dr. Douglas knew and he and Dr. Harris was able to put on that kind of performance during the budget, then they are very good. They need to be given that Nobel Peace Prize for performance. But I'll go a step further. The Speaker of the House is a young lady that I met since she became Speaker. Is a young lady, in my view, with a kind heart, very serious person, very community-oriented and helpful. I'm speaking from experience. I am somewhat disappointed, though, that she allowed these corrupt actors in the Labour administration to allow her to go down that road and not doing a great job in calling them out in Parliament and playing their games. Because the Speaker is not doing any favor to this country of St. Kitts and Nevis, this federation, by shutting down Dr. Harris every time he tried to speak, by shutting down Sean Richards every time he ready to speak. I will not use the terminology opposition, because the leader of the opposition, which is Premier Brantley, should have been carrying this weight. He chose to be leader of the opposition. So Timothy Harris and Sean Richards should not be carrying this weight. My good people, I didn't agree to interview Pastor Lincoln Hazel this morning just for talk. We have a serious problem in this country. And since the people that we elected to lead this country and do right by the people is not capable of doing it, and none of them in there could tell the other to come back, well, we the citizens have to do it. And I have said this before and I'm going to say it again. If it was up to the DJ every one of them who has been elected previously under all administration would not see the light of day into a parliamentary seat in the next general election. But the DJ does not have that luxury. You, the people, do. So I have been a little bit proactive. I went out there and created what we call the Citizens Empowerment Coalition, registered it with the electoral office, and we are ready to go for the next general election. Independent-minded thinking citizens, independent people, some have raised their hands, and I'm calling on others to raise their hands across the spectrum, all 11 constituencies in St. Kitts and Nevis. Let's save St. Kitts and Nevis. The independent citizens can do it. I have spoken to several people throughout St. Kitts, and they're telling the DJ that they're willing to give any independent candidate the opportunity ahead of any former administration or former candidates. So I am happy and I am moved by this conversation I am having. Reverend Hazel, Pastor Hazel, you're going to take all of us, all hands on deck. Pastors seems to be compromised. What I realize that this corrupt Labour administration has done is anyone that will be of threat to them, that might stand the chance of winning a seat and take them out of office, they're offering them ambassadorial position, advisors position, and all kind of things, trips to Africa. They are brainwashing the people and trying to get them to turn a blind eye. This DJ, there is nothing they can give me to turn a blind eye. And you, pastors, when you guys are speaking to your congregation, you need to educate your congregation. You're saying about red and white and blue and yellow and green. This is about saving our country. Your experience should not be the reason why you oppose the Labour Party, the PAM Party, the NRP or the CCM or otherwise. Your experience should be that the poor people that really need the help are not getting it. That is the DJ fight, you know. The people that really needs the help is not getting it. They are not getting it. And those who already have it, this is a holiday season. You go around to all of these big businesses, these restaurants, the Marshall's restaurants, the whoever out there, the Royal St. Kitts, the Marriott, they're having their big private party. People like you and I can't attend because we are not part of that team. We are not at that level. The poor man in St. Paul's, the poor man in Sandy Point, the poor man in Ginger and Nevis, Cotton Ground, the boy Cabo. Cabo might get an invitation because Cabo always in a nice suit. But let's talk about the regular people. They're not benefiting. So I am happy to have you. You have expressed your views on the situation. We are not keeping church, so I'm not going on too long with this. But I'm going to drop a track. And I'm going to give you a chance to gather your thoughts and give you a closing. Is that okay with you?
All right, thank you.
But before I even do that, you know, Pastor, it would be bad of me. You as a business person, I want to believe if you were not paying your social, you would not be able to be here talking to me. You would have been over. You would have been over there at 1840 sitting down.
Yes. Oh, yes.
So allow me to do this. Allow me to do this because this is Christmas Eve, and I want to wish our AG a Merry Christmas when he come tomorrow.
Maybe Mr. Wilkins should be disclosing what's happened. Maybe Mr. Wilkins should disclose that he had failed to pay Social Security benefits for 15 months on one occasion, on another occasion for 5 months, and another one for about three or 4 months. And all of that is contrary to the law. And it is not a simple matter of just saying, oh, you just pay the fines. Because what you expose yourself to there is criminal action. And isn't this something that should be told to everybody? That if you do not pay your Social Security benefits, you're liable to be prosecuted. You hold yourself up for that possibility.
The way I played that clip, Pastor, is as we speak, there are individuals who have not paid a little social. They're sitting over at 1840 for the past 2 weeks. There's a young lady from number 4. They put her over there 2 weeks ago. She's still over there sitting down. The AG have done worse, but he's out there doing all kind of nonsense. And I have an issue with these things. Because while them who have it continue to do harm, they're giving the full support of this government to continue. The AG should have resigned by now. And if he did not resign on this spot, he should have been terminated by the Prime Minister. But the same man is known by the company he keeps. So let's take a listen to Sean Richards, letting us know about our deficit.
There was no recession globally since 2009. There was no recession in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis since 2009. So what is the reason why we have, over the last 3 years, deficits totaling some $708 million? Madam Speaker, I have come to the conclusion that Labour is the problem. Labour is the problem. If you ain't had no recession, you ain't had no COVID, you ain't had no war, you ain't had no natural disaster. Well, the one thing that we have, that we know of, is a Labour government. So Labour has to be the problem. That is the conclusion I've come to, Madam Speaker. That Labour is the problem. That is why we have deficits totaling $708 million over the last 3 years. We have a Labour government. Labour is the problem.
So, as I said, Pastor Hazel, I can go much deeper, but not today. I'm going to drop this track, and we're going to come back and give you a chance to do your wrap-up. But I can say to you, my good people, they said they took the shackles off our hands and feet and around our necks, but they put it on our brain. And as a result, we are still in the back of the bus that Rosa Parks decided she's not going to sit. So I want to bring my boy, Brother Louis Ible Jr., by way of the Virgin Islands, a representative of St. Kitts Nevis as well, to give us something in song. I want to big up the man, Brother Malvern Gums of the Spectrum Band there, St. Thomas USVI, for this arrangement.
Injustice reign. What transpired? You think she was insane? Rosa Parks took a stand like a man against another man, who told her move to the back of the bus. No, I was here first. And Rosa Parks said I paid the same amount as you. So if fear is fear and fear is fear, then I can sit here too. Now in present time, her freedom star spike has turned to pine. When we poison black people's thinking, we got freedom but we destroy lives. Double standards, same words, no rhyme. We rather just push and shove, teach hate not love. Why not give back our freedom brother, we are still in the back. We're still in the back. We're still in the back at the bus. Where we're from, and we don't have a place. Caucasians have America, Spanish have Spain, Orientals in Asia. I think you know what I'm saying. Now some black people of the Caribbean want no part of Africa. If you tell them come and let we go back home, they say Until these youths don't understand, we all have to take a stand. Cause with the influence of different cultures, we turn to criminals and money vultures. And music reflects this crime with distasteful and filthy rhymes, influencing young people's thinking. Hip-hop, rap and dance hall makes without mother ball. And only guns we know in black movie show. We don't corrupt our kids with love no more. We're still in the back. We're still in the back. We're still in the back at the bus. So beware who invite you. You might be taking a chance. They built a beautiful mall and a pretty market. Well, tell me which one black people going get. Did you know Ku Klux Klan make millions from those pretty car fragrance crowns? And went on national TV and told us thanks black people you dumb. Took her turn to say her clothes were not intended to be worn by us. And Timberland shoes making millions can lose from black people who they abuse. Now just to make a dime, it seems we've lost our flipping mind. Selling drugs to people we should hug. And standing in a line, a man use his last 2 dimes to get on boardwalk. The alsi open chances pass them by. That's why Miss Rosa's star don't shine. We're still in the back. We're still in the back. We're still in the back at the bus. Ourselves from our own black race. We're in front in homicides. We're in front in assaults. We're in front in race genocide, raping kids and adults. We're in front in the race to have the most people locked up in jail. And we're leading the pack to have the least to come out or on bail. And if you don't think the system will, every time a black person fails, take a closer look, cause by hook or by crook they find the money to build us more jails. Now I hope you see that it's time for us to get off our black behinds and do something to change young people's thinking. Give them knowledge, wisdom and pride before thoughts of destruction control their minds. Forget the guns and the drugs and the money, give them love. For God's sake, let's all help somehow, or we'll be still in the back. We'll be still in the back. We'll be still in the back at the bus. We'll be still in the back. We'll be still in the back. We'll be still in the back at the bus. We'll be still. We will be still. We don't want to be still in the back at the bus.
Yes, Pastor Hazel, mentally we are still a people in St. Kitts Nevis who is in the back of the bus, mentally.
I'm not a problem with that, you know. The problem is that who put us in the back? We we are putting ourselves in the back and giving the same white man the front seat. That's what is happening to us. We hire black people to run our country. We hire black people as permanent secretaries and bankers and accountants and managers, pure black, and they're putting us in the back of the bus. That's the problem. They are either the honorary whites or they don't believe black people should be to the front of the bus. So they're putting us back to the back of the bus all the time. So, you know, many people curse and talk about racism. I don't know what to call it. You may have a better word when black people.
We are the most racist people in the world. We hate ourselves. Black people hate black people more than any other race.
I mean, we have a black government, black banker, black bank board, black judge, black lawyer, black, got you, 98% black. And the 2% white running the show.
And benefiting at the highest level.
It's crazy. You only have to come into this country with a clear skin and a briefcase. We ain't want to know what's in it. We throw everybody to the back seat.
You don't have to come with a briefcase anymore. You got to come with a smartphone, an Apple iPhone or something. Everything is in there now.
No, it is not something that we should keep quiet. It's something that we need to be careful about. Black is who killing black. Black, making sure that our black businesses fail. Look at it. I'm seeing businesses closing. This is worse than the pandemic. This is worse than the pandemic. And businesses who mean they ain't gonna fail, the banks and the government say you got to fail. Go cut grass to the back of the road. Go join the step gang. That's what you're supposed to do if you're black. And somebody got to step up and say no.
Well, that's another thing I have a problem there, not Pastor Hazel. You see, those people are cutting the grass on the side of the road. They're not paid enough for that job. That job is very, very demanding. And I drive around the island, and I say one of the first things that I would do, given the opportunity, is those folks that and the garbage trucks. The sanitary people, those folks that cut the grass, they need to step up their wages. That the hospital, the various health institutions, they have to step up their wages, because the reality of the day, you know, if these people don't clean the garbage off the streets and cut these grass, the place is in a mess, and they're not giving enough.
They're not giving enough, and they're being told to believe that that's where they belong. That's where they belong. And they let you know that's all you can be able to do. And these people, you know, my church have been looking after the sanitation workers now for 25 years. What has been happening over the past few years is that because the powers that be don't like me, They don't encourage the workers to come out to the appreciation service, and they don't tell them as much as it. They wouldn't even, you send the invitation out to the head of departments, and they do not give the invitations to the workers. So it's just sometimes you really have to tell them ourselves. And last year we had to go. This year we had to go and pay to have. I wanted to make an announcement on ZIZ to encourage the workers to come out to work. I had to pay. You got to pay. If you have to pay. We used to get those things for free years ago. But now we got to pay. And nobody sees the importance of our workers who go and clean the streets early morning. Those people can be killed, and nobody see who killed them. Early, 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
They're out there making sure that by the time we wake up at 6, 7, the place look like a new place, a clean place again, and we take it for granted. And because we think they're from the bottom class of the country, we treat them just like that. And I think we need to step up the way we treat them, and even in the wages. I mean, these people on the road, if there's a disease to be caught, they're the first going to get it.
Yeah.
They're out there, and if they get the crumbs while some people getting hundreds of millions of dollars easily, and those guys have to work night and day to live.
I mean, let's really look at this thing realistically. I cannot call all the areas that need improvement, but just off the top of my head quickly, like I said, the sanitation folks, those folks that cut the grass, keep the place clean, the health workers across all aspects, all level, the education system, those teachers, I have seen how these young kids from baby to teenagers, how much trouble it is to keep these folks in line. The farmers, the fisher folks, you name it.
It's everybody.
Everybody really
need that. To start treating people.
Yes, but
better. It's today I was looking at the electrical skeleton workers, the guys on the pole who is open to hundreds of voltage of power kill them instantly. They're up there risking their lives, not just with the height on the thing, but anybody could, any mistake they make, you're dead. You get less money in skeleton. You know what I mean? His job doesn't look as though it's important. The girl who's by the cashier does better than the guy up on the pole. Risking night and day, working in darkness. Yes. He gets nothing. I said, when are we going to change the way we treat people?
I don't know if you're aware that I'm an electrician by trade.
I'm an electrician too.
All right.
I know when I do electrical work, I always tell people, look, I do electrical work, I want power in the lines. Don't give me no empty wires, because the way I do electrical, as far as I'm concerned, every time you touch a piece of wire, you must say electricity in it, whether it's none of it electricity in it or not.
Well,
every piece of wire has the electricity in it.
The reality of working on live wires, and I can say this to anyone, when you work live, I prefer to work live as well.
Live.
Because if there's a short circuit, from the time you make contact, you're going to know it's a dead short someplace.
Exactly.
And you could get rid of it right away. But once you make that permanent connection,
can you imagine?
When you turn on, whoever on the end of that, they don't stand a chance,
I know.
And what people don't realize is that when someone is being electrocuted and you go to touch that person, you're getting it harder than the person that is actually being electrocuted.
Exactly.
I have seen so many people affected by this stuff. And like you said, the guys at Skelec, I used to take pride in talking to them. As a matter of fact, I have donated tools, 9 pliers and testers and stuff to a lot of them, because when I see some of those guys on the poles working, yes, they have on a glove, but the handle of the pliers is broken. So it's metal.
You can't do.
I see this guy from Basti. I'm working on a pole one day, and I tell him, I said, big man, now, And the funny thing about it is this, and my grandmother used to do the same thing when I bring clothes for her. You see these guys with these tools that I think in my mind should be thrown in the garbage. But even though you give them a new pliers, they still use the old one.
Yeah, custom to it. They want the new players mash up.
But the idea of giving you a new pliers is to save your life. So,
Well, I wonder if they have to, if there's somebody inspect the tools from time to time, there's random inspection to make sure all the equipment is in the proper way, because you need those. You need to be sure the equipment you're using is top notch.
But you see, that's the responsibility of the supervisor. While I was the lead electrician at the institution I work in New York, I took pride in, at least I used to do weekly meetings, but more so the monthly meetings was more important, because those guys have to bring their tools and I'm going to inspect them. Yeah. Power tools, I make sure that I fought with management that each person have a drill, a salsa, whatever, power tools. You should not be waiting on nobody to borrow their tool. You're responsible for maintaining your tool. And I used to make sure I do inspection monthly, because what these folks have to understand is about safety. Because if you don't keep your workers, your employees safe, when they call in sick and you're going to do the work. When they die on you and you got to pay insurance, because in America, accidental death ain't cheap.
No.
You're going to pay that family for the rest of your life.
Yeah, but you can't afford to have your people dying when they could live. Accidents happen all the time. We know that. But
so there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things need to be changed in St. Kitts. A lot of things need to be changed in St. Kitts Nevis. And the people have to be acceptable to the conversation, because some people, when you start speaking to them, the first thing they do is shut you down with politics.
Yeah, politics.
And I told a guy in Nevis there over the weekend, I said, big man, if you want to speak to me, let's speak on the issues. Once you're going to come with the CCM and the NRP and the this and that, you lost me already. I do not want to hear it. Let's deal with the issue at hand. And then once we identify there's an issue, then we could see how we can solve it. Even right in St. Kitts, I spoke to a few folks who are, some is PLP, some is Labour, some is PAM, and I give them the same conversation. Let us speak about what is going on in the Federation at the moment. Whether it's wrong, right. Exactly. And if you're in favor of the wrong, then I know something is wrong with you. So let's give me the reason for you. And then you will find people tell me, oh, well, Pam did this to my family, and Pam did that to my family, and Labour did this to my family. And I'm saying to them, you got to get out of that. Let's deal with the issue at hand. Not what Batcher did to your family. Not what Pam did to your family, not what Labour did to your family, but what is being done right now by this government. That is what I want to speak to you about. And if we does not change the direction, we're going to soon be alien in this country. I was saying that that song I played a while ago would have been my final song, and I hope it would have been my final song. But I did a song back in 20 to myself and Mighty Pat. I sent him some information and I found out that the population of St. Kitts Nevis was in second place to the citizen by investment citizen. So CBI citizenship has way past our citizen of birth. So right now, those people who have our CBI can come in here, register to vote, and decide who will be the next government. So, Pastor, with your indulgence, I just want to drop this final track here. This one is by the Mighty Pat that I assisted with putting together some 3 years ago.
Are you ready? This is Mighty Pat at the control tower. We're going to chant them down. We're going to push them down. We can break them down. Get ready to sing. 1, 2, 3. I'm an alien in my country. St. Kitts Nevis, that shouldn't be. Foreigners taking over slowly in my country. Lord have mercy. I'm an alien in my country. Government pretend that they can't see. Foreigners taking over slowly. like a bulldozer. They gon' crush me. Think it's Nevis, where I was born. There will be no place for me to hold on. We'll be sinking, we'll be drowning in deep water. There'll be no recover. Power hungry politicians slowly selling out the island to Tom Dick. Anybody who have money, now look what they make we. I'm an alien in my country. Think it's Nevis belongs to we. Foreigners taking over daily in my country. Lord have mercy. I'm an alien in my country. Government pretend that they can't see. Foreigners taking over slowly like a bulldozer. They gon' crush me. The little job that we used to have, foreigners take it while me a starve. The little food that I used to sell, foreigners take him, even that as well. The jobs and businesses here in this country are owned by Arabs, Indians and Chinese. Gone to the beach, this white man tell me to get off of his property. I'm an alien in my country. Think it's Nevis, that shouldn't be. Foreigners taking over slowly in my country. Lord have mercy. I'm an alien in my country. Government pretend that they can't see. Foreigners taking over daily like a bulldozer. They gon' crush me. DJ Marisha came and tell me, he said, mighty, listen carefully. There'll be no place in our country left for are we. Watch and you will see. Foreigners will be Prime Minister. Foreigners will be Premier. Foreigners will be Governor. Cause of passport money, we're going back in slavery. I'm an alien in my country. Think it's Nevis, that shouldn't be. Foreigners taking over daily in my country. Lord have mercy. I'm an alien in my country. Government pretend that they can't see. Foreigners taking over slowly like a bulldozer. They gon' crush me. If you are proud to be a Kittishan, if you are proud to be a Nevisian, then take your flag up in your hand and wave it in any direction. These land belong to you and me, so stand up with pride and dignity and tell them foreigners bully, they ain't gon' chase me out of we country. I'm an alien in my country. Think it's Nevis should belong to we. Foreigners taking over daily in our country. Lord have mercy. I'm an alien in my country. Government pretend that they can't see. Foreigners taking over slowly like a bulldozer. They gon' crush me. Come on. Let me see you say. Let me hear you say. Let me see you turn. Wait. Let me go. Let me go. Let me go. Let me go. Don't pray them. Put up.
Yeah, brother Hazel. I have participated in the production of many songs over the years, but this one I think is my signature song.
Yeah,
because when I gave Mighty Pat the lyrics to this song and I asked him to put it together and come up for Sugar Mass, by the way, they try him out at semifinals. They didn't want him. They eliminated him because they didn't want the song on stage 3 years ago. But the song in itself, the original song, when Pat sent it to me, I wasn't satisfied because it was a combo. It was keyboard hands, but I reached out to my brother there in St. Thomas, Malvern Gums of the Spectrum Band, and asked him for some live hands. So, hear those hands? Malvern is a product of Anguilla and St. Kitts. His mother is from right there in McKnight, father from Anguilla. Right? And we have some serious talent in St. Kitts and Nevis that are not getting the opportunity. The foreigners are getting every aspect of what beneficial is out there. We have more economic citizens at the moment that are carrying our CBI passports than natural born citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis. We have a serious problem. Right there in Nevis right now, we're fighting for our life because this Destiny project that the Premier and this Labour-led administration by Dr. Joe is openly willing to give up 10,000 citizenship, 10,000 families on the south coast of Nevis. Permanent residents. When you say families, we're talking about a family of 4. So you're talking about multiply 10,000 by 4. That's 40,000 new residents in Nevis where the population is only over some 13,000. So it's they're replacing us. This government is participating in replacement of nationals. We have a serious problem.
Well, you see, is when people don't have any ideas, lack of ideas. So they only see one way, the easy way is to sell passports. I mean, even though they see the passport system is getting more and more fragile, they're still putting all the energies in there. They haven't yet thought about something else they can do to avoid having this passport thing. But I think it's a slush fund where they can get money and those are like with it, because why are we waiting them? There's so much things can be done in this country. No exports, no exports because what? We don't want any exports. No exports because we don't want any exports. We don't want to go into industry. We don't want to go into technology. We just want to go into passport. That's all we want to go into. And we're wasting money by the billions. I mean, when I heard what hit me hard also with the budget was when they talk about the Basel High School, $100 million US contract for $35 million.
Yep. Yeah. Serious thing.
I mean, all the rest is bad. But I think how we get that do? How could you easily take a $35,000 contract?
35 million.
$35 million EC contract and give it to somebody, a non-petition, a person who probably never did construction before, and they're going to have to do that job for $20 million US.
How about 271 million?
I wasn't mad about the whole thing. I wasn't mad about what he said. I was mad, but not so mad. What made me real mad was when Sean asked, please tell me, stop me, tell me I'm going wrong. Say I'm not talking the truth. Come up on a point of order. Say something. Nobody move.
Not a man move.
No, but that's an indictment that I can't understand. We're talking about 35 into $27 million is almost 10. I mean, how would they explain that to sensible people that we have awarded a $35 million contract to a non-petition? That's the first indictment, because we could build a school too, and give it to a non-local that you don't even know who the person is. And this young man is getting $100 million to do a $35 million project. Somebody to pull that together. Somebody is just to talk about it and leave it like that. There's nothing can be done. You just have to talk about it. That's all you can do.
Something have to be done. You see, the criteria for getting contracts is kickbacks in a partner.
No, it's not true.
I am saying to you, that is their criteria. This is this new administration criteria.
I can't say because I can't prove they get kickbacks.
Well, I can say to you, that many contractors have said to me that there was offered contracts, but the stipulations for kickback was part of receiving those contracts and then not touching it, right? It is no secret that this is the way of life.
That was dangerous, though. I need to know. I don't want to. I know this has been replayed and people talking about it, and it's being replayed and forwarded and everything. But that's all we can do about it.
No, well,
Could
you got to understand.
Could the government take up $100 million and pay for a $35 million contract, and that's how it goes? Who in charge of that? I mean,
Pastor Hazel, you got to understand something, right? And this is why I'm trying to educate the people and bring awareness. We have seen what happened with the AG and his nanny gate matter. He was not terminated. He has not resigned. He continued to make things bad for this country. As long as this government stays there, we won't have access to these documents. The documents are there. The paper trail are there. But to get access to them is to send these folks home. No matter what double they give to the people, no matter what parties they give, no matter what big celebration for the sugar mass, the people have to understand, come January morning, when all of that is finished, we have business to deal with. We got all of these investigation to do, and we will not get this information easily. So when you put foot inside those voters' booths, you're inside there with you and God. Make the right decision.
All I ask in you, DJ, is kindly use your influence and ask for a $2 million interest-free loan for Glenboro International. I need it badly.
Well, you just asked for it, so I'm just going to second it. You made a motion, I'm going to just second it.
Please. And it's not too much for them to give me. Because they haven't given me nothing yet. They've been giving to, every time they give me money, they're giving it to these hotels that's supposed to be big and large and making a lot of money. I don't understand how if they can't make no money from getting all the money, what about us? We dead.
But Hazel, over the last couple of years I'm in this country, I have put many things in place to give back to the community, not just of St. Paul's, the community around St. Kitts Nevis. I had something going there where I was sponsoring a worker at a daycare. I was paying that worker salary $500 a week and I think the last payment I made was last November or December, because the funds were not coming in as regular, and I did not want to keep putting that entity in waiting, not being able to come up with the funds. But there are so many programs that I have funded on my own without getting benefits from government or anyone. There are a few people out there that has made contribution to this podcast, my technicians, my engineers, and I do my best to help people. I don't come here and take pictures and photo up like the Prime Minister and them for everything I do. There's a gentleman at the JNF. I think he is a very good worker, have a good attitude and everything, and don't have the necessary tools. They did not have tools at the hospital for the guys to do their work. Folks have to be waiting on a drill and this kind of stuff. And when I went to the UK last year for my sister's funeral, actually earlier this year, back in April, I came back and I bought him a cordless hammer drill that has multiple functions. I bought him a universal bit sets and stuff like that. I present them to him. I have pictures. We took a picture when I presented this stuff to him. I would not go and post those things on Facebook, but privately, I have been doing a great deal. And that's why I have a problem with every time they give a child a piece of candy, they're taking pictures and posting. Do your work. That's what you get paid to do. Just do your work. And I am going to continue to do what I am doing until such time as things change. I'll be popping up in various areas. There are so many unfinished projects here and St. Kitts and Nevis, CBI failed projects and stuff like that. There's a lot out there. And I will continue to bring the message, Brother Glenn Barrow, Pastor Hazel.
And thank you for having me and for the discussion. I hope that people get it and understand that we're not here trying to fight down the government. We're just trying to tell them to do the right thing.
Well, I can say this to you. In terms of this interview, it's already gone viral. I'm seeing the numbers. So you should be getting some responses from folks. You can check the thread later on. There are some comments in there and stuff like that. Right now, I'm going to just drop a few ads, drop my closing, and I'm out of here. I want to thank you for taking the time out to come and speak to the people, because I have been speaking about Glenn Barrow, like I said, for some months now, and maybe people think I am just trying out names out there, but when you put a face to the person, then you know that is a fact.
Yeah, I'll come again. And before you go, I want us to talk about the way our seniors are being treated. Our old
that
people
too. When I say,
and I want to really talk about it, because somebody have to do something about our old people getting too much about last years of their life, and I think the government have to do something about it. The country have to do something about it. But let's don't start talking about that.
You see, you're turning me on, partner, because when I use the terminology healthcare system, I speaking about holistically, including the nursing home and stuff like that. We know we lost a brother of mine there, Cancer Edwards, through negligence of a nursing home. And I was hitting that weekly. And I know many of them put pressure on the family. They don't want me to talk about it anymore because it does not sound good. I choose to stop speaking on it because I don't want to continue to open that wound for the family. But the reality of that is that the pain is still there. I still feel the same way. And this is not just about an individual, it's about the system that has not been fixed. And even after that incident, speaking to the Prime Minister, speaking to the Deputy Prime Minister, speaking to the CMO, speaking to the PS, speaking to the DHI, I have not seen no improvement in the system.
We're going to have to talk about that at its own, because that's a big topic. It's bigger than all that we said tonight. Our old people must leave home in dignity, leave this world in dignity, in love, and they should not be fighting to get some food to eat and care. I think we need to do something about care for our elderlies. Our church have a nursing home, so it's front and center with it. And I wanted to talk about a session just on the seniors. What can we do to make it better for them? The government has to chip in and support. Even that your brother who left and went is because the nursing home can't afford to pay for the amount of staff that is necessary to run the nursing home. I mean, you have to have security. You must have people who are looking at those people at all times. And if you have to multitask, because if you don't, you won't be able to run the nursing home adequately and profitably. So it's difficult. I mean, I've been trying to get even some step workers to assist in a nursing home in Sandy Point, and I can't get one, No. And I listen to your Chinese have step workers, Indian have step workers, all kind of foreigners have step workers, and the locals that they have to go on their knees to get a step worker. Let us leave this whole thing alone until another program.
Anyway, you're correct. You're correct with that because basically I said we're going to do a half an hour to hour interview. We are just about 10 minutes short of a 2-hour interview. So I'm going to drop that for now. I'm going to do my closing and get out of here. You can hang around or you can leave. It's up to you. But let me just take some time out to say good day to the good folks there at the Island Purified Water, Main Street, Newton Ground, St. Kitts. I want to thank Brother Powell the man Scott and his team there for keeping the DJ hydrated when he's in our beloved federation. I also want to big up the good people there at Glenbarrow. And Dr. Hazel, I want to thank you publicly. The DJ cannot afford a printer. The DJ cannot afford the ink. But when the DJ needs something printed, your office, Glenbarrow International, has accommodated the DJ. So I want to thank you.
Never, I tell you, but never, just go ahead and have it done.
I want to thank you publicly for that.
Okay.
Yeah, my good people. So let's drop this clip. Yeah, let me drop this clip here that for you folks maybe online that come for the first time and bump into us and wondering what this podcast is about. Let's take a listen.
Wednesday evenings are heating up. Log on to DJ Marishaw's Facebook Live broadcast every Wednesday evening from 6 to 8 p.m. It's a frank and a candid exploration into the social, cultural, political, and economic issues affecting our federation. And just in case you missed it, you can also catch the broadcast on his YouTube channel, DJ Marishaw. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube and smash that bell. You will be notified whenever he goes live. DJ Marishaw, every Wednesday evening, Facebook 6 to 8 p.m. or thereafter on his YouTube channel, DJ Marishaw. Log on.
Yes, my good people, you heard it right. The DJ is here each and every Wednesday evening. That will be in the new year. For now, we come on occasion where there's a need to jump in and keep the citizen updated with any news. We are scheduled to be back on January 7th officially. But as you folks may be aware online that last evening I did a live broadcast from the now closed Ramada Hotel there in the Hilden area in constituency 6, St. Paul's, Capital State area. I did it at night for one simple reason, that folks can see the darkness, to understand that that place is now shut down, because there's all kind of talk about progress and CBI investment and all this kind of stuff. The Ramada has been shut down for months. And I did not say anything previously because I was giving the government the opportunity to break the news to the citizens during the budget debate. But after they did not do that, I decided, okay, let me drop a live on them. And I'm going to drop a live during the day that you can actually see the structures and the complete waste. Like people say down there's a washing machine for whatever corruption that they're doing. I didn't say it. The people say it. So let's take a run across to the VI again, to the man Malvern Gums, and hear what he has to say about the DJ.
Hey, this is Malvern from Spectrum Band, and you're listening to DJ Marisha, playing you the best in Caribbean music.
You got that?
Hey, this is Malvern from Spectrum Band, and you're locked into DJ Marisha. Keep it locked.
Keep it locked right there, my good people, because right about now, we're going to jump straight into our closing track here. This one is done by the late, great King Arrow. This one is called Arise. And my good people, the time is ripe. We have to make the correction. We have to arise. We got to wake up, my good people. Nothing personal. Just saving our country from these bad actors that we put into office back in 2022. So this one, Arise. Rosita Pontin, how are you doing?
Your country dying and never lend a helping hand. Would you see your children's future dwindling, creating much disillusion? Or would we watch on idly, disregarding ourselves Let us reintegrate and correct all mistakes. Reunification, building a brand new nation. We'll move on together hand in hand. Rise, citizens, arise. The country is yours, all yours, still yours. Would you assist building a wall so massive or a bridge? Don't care how small, as one tends to divide our people, the other unite us all. Unambitious men just cannot be a part of this community. Displaying selfishness, a total lack of interest. No, I said no, not at all. Citizens, let's unite and stand up for rights, all our lives and our lives. Let us reintegrate and correct all mistakes. Reunification, building a brand new nation. We'll move on together hand in hand. Rise, citizens, arise. The country is yours, all yours, still yours. Can your conscience be clear? Indulging corruption or misusing public office, being accused of unemployment and crimes, or disrupting a citizen's peace. Oh, my country in this harmony, separated politically. Hatred for a brother cannot love each other. No, I said no, not at all. Citizens, let's unite and stand up for rights, all our lives and our lives. Let us reintegrate and correct all mistakes. Reunification, building a brand new nation. We'll move on together hand in hand. So rise, citizens, arise. The country is yours, all yours, still yours.
Yes, my good people, this country is yours, all yours, still yours. And we got to make sure that we protect this country. Good day, Sister Hazel Claxton, you know. You people in Nevis, something wrong with you all head up there, you know. The Observer newspaper there, the St. Kitts Nevis Observer paper there, Nevis, have the AG picture on the front page for this week, saying Person of the Year. Actually, the AG picture should be on the DPP radar as person of interest. That is what needs to be done because we are incarcerating citizens for minor offenses. These folks are committing high crimes and misdemeanor and happen to be given a pass. So, Mr. DPP, I am calling on you to do your work, you know. There's too much things going on out there and you seems to be a little quiet. I'm giving you the holiday season to rest up, but I expect you to brush off your coat. Come in the new year with some good information for the people. You started off with some good talk. Now we need to see some good action. So I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas tomorrow. And again, look for the DJ popping up in places and spaces, bringing you updates as the days progress. Until such time, it's love every time.